Okay, everyone, it's Saturday, and you know what that means? It means we're not really supposed to get a death battle today, but we did anyway! I don't know if they just made it available for everyone, and this is supposed to be what the people who pay in advance get, or what, but it was supposed to go up tomorrow. Everything said the 30th, but it is the 29th, and I have to hurry.
Shigaraki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's
Nice.
Liz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I know zero about either of these characters.
Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
I keep trying to interact with it in the OBS window. OBS, please step up your game. Let me interact with the videos in your window instead of having to leave the YouTube window open the entire time. Okay. Again, I didn't bring my phone down with me. Okay, League of Legends and Smash Bros. Player, awesome. Lives in a society.
It
We
wasn't
all
something
do.
cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone,
getting a
anyone, to
Walmart
help
ad?
him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one.
Awesome.
The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead
Why
his
does he
league of
itch
villains
everything?
in destroying hero society.
With that came a new
Is that
name,
the
Tomura
thing that-
Shigaraki,
the
and
thing
an
he
absolutely nightmarish
suffers from
quirk,
that they say?
Decay. It does what it says on the tin.
Awesome.
Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and
Always
fake.
itching.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands
Yeah.
from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left
Where's the
there
dog
by
paw?
his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
Yeah.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying
But that's
also decays.
like everything.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
That would be
If
everything,
decay
so
reaches
there's
you,
got to be a
your only
range
hope
to
is
it.
to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the
Awesome.
greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1
Hey,
hero,
you gotta,
All Might.
you gotta transfer
flat on his
those
face.
Shigaraki
grudges.
was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well,
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life in front of normies.
but they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right
Yeah,
as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming
Hang on a
at his-
second. How does he hold a controller? If everything he touches, including inanimate objects, decays, how does he hold a controller to play video games?
as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of
I
their
don't-
master's
I don't get
blood
it.
feud, would push
How does
themselves
he
past their
sleep?
own limitations.
How does he
Especially
sleep in
when
a
All
bed?
Might and All for One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered
see.
other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal
Does that mean
army.
he never got
All
any
to
hits?
impress All for One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months
Alright.
upgrading Shigaraki's body
his
to make it
Eggman
more like
mustache.
his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Uchiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd
Wow.
power.
Sharing All Might's
What's
power
with the
between
red
them,
font? It's
Deku
really
and
hard to
Bakugo
read.
were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've
All right.
calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Nice.
Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might
Nice,
seem
nice.
invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough,
Which
he
they
will
just didn't-
evolve into a state of uncontrollable
a,
power.
So Decay became...
A number 4.
Oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence.
course he
seemingly oceans of it
can,
in an
yeah.
instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close
Superhero
combat.
But that's
comics.
nothing compared
Yay.
to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All for One. So what better way than the old man's quirk?
All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its
Yeah.
user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All for One has hundreds
see.
of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Hang on. Though created from biological quirks, vestiges are. Let me get that I out of the way. Designated? I can't even see what that says. As being souls and spirits. It's even remarked that the vestige of All Might within a One for All becomes more clear as he gets closer to death. Good.
Like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kind of psychic world in Shigaraki's
Describe.
body and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those
I
vestiges
see.
came quirks like
Okay. Air cannon, danger sense, flight, heavy payload, radio waves, reflect, scatter, search, spring-like limbs, of course, super regeneration, telekinesis, vestiges, warping, and many more.
fast healing,
Okay.
air blasts, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to
Of
track
others.
foes.
They can
Okay.
even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However,
Yeah.
any vestige
Okay, Shigaraki steals danger sense from Deku specifically by stealing the vestige of Hikage Shinomori rather than the quirk factor, proving that the two are linked. Alright.
stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and
Hang
some
on.
can even fight for
By the two, I assume it means Hikage Shinomori and Danger Sense are linked.
control.
Which is when the
Hang on.
second...
The vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the
Yeah.
second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All for One's vestige, that means All for One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years
course.
wanting for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning.
Oh,
Why?
Lord.
Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next...
Oh, fuck. Destroyed Deku City, fought Gigantomachia for 1.5 months. Did he do that without landing a single hit, though? Caught laser beams, proved the legitimacy of the quirk singularity doomsday theory. I don't know what that means. Could decay all of Japan in a week. Far stronger than All Might. Defeated Redestro, Stars and Stripes, Eraserhead, Mirko, and Bakugo. Okay.
level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose. Create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world. allowing All for One to take full control.
But All for One's possession wasn't
Is this
complete,
the only one he was doing?
Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all
Dang.
to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All for One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about.
Family.
He got a hero who tried to save him.
Aw.
This battle is sponsored by Robin
No,
and Brazil
Oh,
shut
Brands.
up.
Only network
Shut.
here. Time 20-fold L. His
Shut.
brother Abel.
Okay. There we go. Come on.
Ever since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all
Okay,
that
well.
negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed?
Humans'
forming,
irrational
over time,
behavior
a
is
living
really what I
being
fear.
fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle.
Well, then you'd have the special
Well,
grade
the law
curse
of the
with
jungle
the
isn't
patch face,
malice.
Mahito.
Survival.
Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings
Age
to ever
a
afflict
few months old. Fan of J.R.R. Tolkien. Of course, of course. Okay.
mankind. He's no mere
think
mortal,
he'd
though, but a
learn a
cursed
little
spirit.
then.
Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
Isn't that a
So it
waitress?
follows that mankind's
waitress
fear
afraid of
itself
fire?
would
Working
be
in a restaurant?
extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically
You know, okay, actually, I'm going to bring this up. We've had many death battle combatants that are older than the universe. But I recall asking once, and I think I brought this up in another video, who is the youngest death battle combatant? And this would definitely be up there if he's only a few months old. But it's been brought up that way back in Terminator versus RoboCop, that specific Terminator may have just rolled off the assembly line and be less than 15 minutes old.
like evil key.
This
Cursed
is
energy can be
just
used to make
hilarious.
spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's
Alright.
invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the
Of course.
untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed
see.
spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses
Alright.
insanely hard to get rid of, like ghost cockroaches or my ex.
A ghost
That's why you need
cockroach.
a jujutsu
It's a
sorcerer to
cicada
come in
shell,
and
but-
Kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost
Alright.
exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses
Right,
are
what you know.
basically dumb animals. But Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited
Yeah.
by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact,
Okay.
they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening.
I know that I'm not talking nearly as much as I usually do, but it's because I really don't know anything about these guys, and I'm trying to stack it all up in my head.
Than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
which also makes him kind of a goofball.
okay.
If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
I would
Appropriate
say that
analogy,
matters to him
considering his
then.
curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a
Because if nothing truly matters, then that would mean petty hatred doesn't matter either. So why act on it?
touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu
Yeah,
Kaisen,
yeah. According to Principal Yaga, one can
soul and the body share an
one
immutable
can
connection.
get rid of
Whatever
that. I've replicate a soul and its information from the add its information from the information of the body, such as how it created Panda. I'm just gonna go back a bit.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shapeshift his body into literally
Alright.
anything he wants, like Play-Doh. He can turn his
Self-embodiment
limbs
of
into blades or clubs,
perfection.
grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to
That is not instantly.
heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is
of course,
unbelievably
of course.
creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse
Well, I mean,
techniques,
he'd have to
like
just to
the
be able to
Black
communicate.
Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
All right.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would
Of
require
course it
reflexes
does.
moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain expansion.
I
shit.
remember that.
More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment
Gotcha.
of perfection, the ultimate
course it
expression of
is.
Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not
Alright.
only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
Nice.
King of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability
A
affected
forbidden
both
soul.
souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No
Yeah.
surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before
Of
killing
course,
him,
of course,
murdering his
of course.
friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world. And
Gotcha.
his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse
One
Joko was able
of.
to summon
Okay, alright. Other side materials such as Curse Clash and Phantom Parade show that Mahito is relative to his fellow disaster curses in sparring sessions. Gage has also stated that Gojo would die to 5 black flashes from Yuji, and Mahito can survive several from both him and Toto. How many is several?
and a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy
Oh, is
of
that
over
the Shibuya
800
incident people
kilotons
talk
of
about?
TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved.
Of course
unlocking
he
a
does.
vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton
Instant
and
spirit
armed
body.
blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into. A true
Just a
blight
taste?
on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him,
Yeah, of
maybe,
course.
But Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way,
Awesome.
that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world
And I'm
would
the
bring it to its knees.
Child left.
Hey, do you
God.
see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a Death Battle champion. As a champion, you
I
get
already
all sorts
have.
of exclusive Death Battle content, like extra videos,
Okay,
live
join.
chats, and sending us your own matchup ideas. And the support helps us make even more Death Battle. So
Yeah,
thank you for
I-
being a champion.
Oh, why thank you. I'm a champion.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Oh gosh. I notice that for Shigaraki they didn't say one of the key feats, like one of the force outputs. I know Mahito leveled a city, but that's nothing compared to dinosaur killing meteor. I've heard that this battle has a lot of body horror. If Josh Scorcher's Reactions title is any indication, and from what I've seen of these, I've also I've seen I really like that Death Battle is now advertising the voice actors in their trailers. It's super awesome of them. Oh, I think the first time they did that, I think the first time they did that was with Snake versus Sam, wasn't it? But that was because they got like industry people. But now, you know, well, I mean, they are still industry people. It's Tom Schalk and Rivali. I'm blanking on his name, but the guy that played Rivali in Breath of the Wild. Sean Shiplock, that's it. Ah, God. It's so funny. He's also Seabold in Pokemon Masters. And I have a feeling that that's the big reason that everyone thinks that Seabold is, like, really snobby when he actually isn't. Okay. So I'm thinking Shigaraki, just from the analysis.
Oh!
Alright, let me see what we say. Yep. Hands everywhere. So many more hands.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid
I love
world
that
down
casual
around
stance.
us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
You already are.
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition, Sickum.
Oh, there we go.
Game over.
Of course, yeah.
Did you actually just say that?
Yeah, yeah. You know he did. Come on.
God, how lame.
Go in for the kiss. Oh yeah, they're fighting on the train tracks. There hasn't been anyone that's been reporting this because everyone's dead, so train's just gonna keep running. There we go.
Did I get the part?
Oh.
Decay.
You could just taking a trip downtown and this fucking happens. I want to know what that warning sign says. Oh yeah, you gotta have multiple mouths and everything.
That all you got?
Oh
Domain
goodness.
expansion.
Nobody says it so casually. Domain expansion. It's like, yeah,
I can
guess
read
what,
your soul.
fuckface.
You're just a scared little boy whose daddy is mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Hands off my masterpiece.
Yeah.
I felt your soul too. You only hate
So this-
humanity because you were born that way.
Train doesn't have a
Totally
kill
random.
switch, does it?
I hate them for a reason.
Nice, nice. Yeah, run.
You grow up.
Well, he can't now.
What did I say, Wiz? Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's
I notice
address
they're not
one
doing
thing.
experience
Could
this time.
Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different,
Yeah.
and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios.
Yeah.
And with the Surge quirk,
Curses are invisible due to existing on a different spectrum of light than what normal people can see. Extrasensory abilities like Shigaraki's that do not rely on visible light would be unimpeded.
Shigaraki would
Okay.
have no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
Although they still
This was
portrayed
no
it as coming into
contest.
focus
Despite
with
the
a blink.
disaster curses
Okay, Mahito could tenuously scale to Mai and Yozuru's construction techniques due to his status as a special grade disaster curse. This would still not surpass Shigaraki's strength. Okay,
destroy
gotcha.
entire cities with their cursed energy. Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster, too, considering he could reach...
But Mahito could potentially scale to Red Fistic and Lightspeed feats from Jujutsu Kaisen's final arc due to keeping up with Toto, but these would still not surpass Shigaraki's speed. Of course,
light
gotcha.
beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yeah,
In
it
terms
seems
of raw
that way.
durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flash
Okay. Idle Transformation's unique ability to nullify regeneration, like something curse technique, is predicated on damaging souls. Mahito could not ascertain and directly target the super regeneration vestige. Therefore, he could not stop Shigaraki from healing bodily
meant that
injuries.
he could
Okay.
heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However,
Reverse
Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idol transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Yeah.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's
apparently so.
unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idol transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idol transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all
Yeah.
things, Shigaraki's vestiges...
Shigaraki's for multiple all-for-one transfer attacks from Deku, which directly attack the soul and reflect identical damage on the body. Just like idol transfiguration, his body evolved to counter these punches automatically.
It's a spiritual shield from the effects of idol transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And
Gotcha,
Shiggy
that
has
makes
hundreds
sense.
of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure,
I know
each
I'm
one
sounding
down means he
sarcastic,
loses
but
a quirk,
it does make
but
sense.
that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to
When Shigaraki could not target spiritual matter, Nanami states that a curse like Mahito would still die after expending all of their cursed energy. And Shigaraki's massive physical advantages, arsenal abilities, and proven 45-day stamina, he easily wins the war of attrition. Okay.
defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's
Was that the spirit of his
vestige and
grandmother?
have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that could
Shigaraki's soul is additionally shielded by a barrier of pure hatred, distinct from his soul itself. Idol transfiguration has been blocked by Nanami's cursed energy, which is born from negative emotions like hatred. Okay.
naturally target the soul, we're able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki
Okay. Idol transfiguration allowed Mahito to separate parts of his body affected by the decay before its effects spread. However, with Shigaraki's overwhelming speed advantage, he could not do so forever. Gotcha.
the third
I
and
gotcha.
final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled
This
the
would
end
remove
for the
one of
disaster
his
curse.
quirks. Yeah.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Next time on Death
Okay, who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Ah, yeah, okay.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Gotcha. Yeah. That was promised to us a little while ago. Switch over to just me. Yeah, that was the voted on remaster of an old fight. Honestly, I think Peach versus Zelda needs it more than anything else. Oh gosh, that's what I voted for. What did you guys vote for in the remake poll? Ugh. Okay, well, it's certainly an impressive fight. It was fun learning about characters that I have no fucking clue about. So that's always... I know that it leads to a reaction that probably isn't as fun to watch for everyone, but it's fun for me to learn about characters that are new to me. So yeah, next time is going to be interesting. From what I understand, the original was accurate at the time, but its sense veered in Doomguy's favor. Yeah. Okay. I was not prepared for this. I just say I thought this was going to be tomorrow. I don't know why they did it today, but it was cool. You know, it's cool. It's cool. We get stuff a day in advance. That's... I don't know. Okay. I don't know what I'm saying. I woke up, I rolled over, and it was sitting there, and it was like, oh, okay, awesome. All right. Surprise reaction. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Bear in mind, it's, 5 minutes till noon. Okay, so I am going to head out and I'm going to get some breakfast. And then I'm going to do some stuff. So, hopefully, when you do some stuff today, hopefully that will include watching my reaction. Okay, I will see you in 3 weeks. I don't know if it's going to be on a Saturday or a Sunday. Who knows? Maybe they'll say one day and then drop it on another. I don't know. It was fun learning about new characters today. Until next time, I'm Blackjack Gaviani, and, goodness. I had fun today.